Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here. I'm going to do a collective reading. And if you're interested in a personal reading, my information is below. I do astrology and tarot. And I never ask for people to subscribe, but I've been at 99 subscribers for a while. So if you want to subscribe and make it 100, that would be tits. I used to work with a guy when I sold doors who, when something good happened, he would say tits. And when something bad happened, he would say balls. And I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, all right. This is timeless. It is also general. If it resonates, cool. If it doesn't, cool. This reading might not be for you. I might not be for you. That's cool too. Self-care. 9 of Pentacles. Knowing our worth. I'm going to do a Celtic cross here. So now I'm going to pull the challenge card. But the 9 of Pentacles, we want to take care of ourselves. We want to feel good. I forgot to mention when I was about to start this up, I kind of got the message, like, what is my part? Because no matter what's going on around us, we can only navigate within our own bodies, right? So we might collectively be looking at or benefit from looking at what is my part in the situation or encounter that I find myself in today. Sun. That's optimism, faith, hope. The sun is shining on our back. It could also be the sun is like light shining on something, right? Because this is coming out as a crossing card. Maybe it's possible we're being overly optimistic, which like I kind of hate that for us, but whatevs. The 9 of Pentacles, also the bird on her hand represents our connection to spirit. Remembering that even if the sun is shining, I've been doing this thing where when things are balls, like when they're not going well, I try not to get dragged down by that. Okay. I'm trying to remain even keel, but also when things are awesome, I try not to get like scooped up by that either. That's just where I'm at in my journey, is being more measured and in the middle. Because, you know, oh, come on, cat, for real. The higher I let myself get launched into ecstasy or whatever about something, the further I can fall. And I don't know how to explain that it feels good to me to be more even keel. Because I remember hearing that in the past and being like, well, that would kind of suck. You know, it's like a good thing that as high as you go, as low as you go, because then, you know, when you go low, you go high. But I'm just in this place where I want to be centered. I want to be in the middle. Anyway, being overly optimistic, maybe being too distracted by the shiny things outside of us, that which leaves us vulnerable to a bigger like letdown or a catastrophe or whatever if we're not connected to spirit. All right, what's in our subconscious? Ah, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is overthinking, feeling stabbed in the back. In our subconscious, it means that we may not be entirely, hold on. She's really doing the most today. Okay, it's in our subconscious. We may not even be completely aware of it. Maybe we're sort of haunted by past pain, or we've left something in the past, or something has been completed that is a driving force. So we're being extra happy because we want to like skip over that hard part, but it's actually, instead of moving us forward, it is driving us forward. So we might be driven into optimism by past pain without first acknowledging that what happened hurt. You know what I mean? Like, you can answer me. Recent past. Ace of Cups. In the recent past, we may have experienced an opening up of emotion. The Ace of Cups is about our cup overflowing with love. This could even just be feeling really emotional, wanting to begin a new emotional journey. If that's like self-help or a new way of feeling or a new way of looking at our feelings. Something painful could have ended, and that opened up new feelings in us that weren't necessarily negative, but something, we feel refreshed somehow. Okay. Cool. What is in the conscious? What do we know? What are we striving towards or intending? The 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is happiness. All right. So this reading actually feels good today and ready. There's a time and place for looking at our part. And I want to tell another story, but I remember when I was in rehab, I was talking to this girl, and there were some painful things that I was coming around to understanding, understanding, overstanding, whatever that I was working with. And I remember her saying to me, I know it's painful, but at some point we have to be ready, even though we may have in certain situations been victims, to look back and acknowledge our part in where we found ourselves, right? And this is part of self-care, and it's so that you don't end up there again. Jordan Peterson talks about that, like, if you almost have to bring yourself to this place where you find the evil or whatever inside of you, because if you don't know it's there, that's when you can be the ugliest. If you aren't aware of your own negative traits, then you can actually be more dangerous than if you are aware of them. Jung talks about it too, but in our subconscious, we have the 10 of Swords. So I think this 10 of Swords is our own darkness. This is part of the self-care process. So what is going to happen? This is the self-care card. That's us. That's where we are. This is a crossing card. It's the sun. It's an optimistic card. We could be in this place for feeling good, which means we're in the perfect place to look more openly at our darkness. And that's what the sun is shining light on. What we are aiming towards is the 10 of Cups, which is ultimate fulfillment. And the way to get to ultimate fulfillment is to see clearly, with an honest inventory of ourselves and who we are. Okay, what's coming up in the future? Six of Pentacles. Giving and receiving in balance. He has the scales here. This is not overgiving. This is not overtaking. This is really being in relationship to others where we are giving and taking equally. So I like to tell the whole story of this card because it really conveys the meaning of it more. accurately. This man is giving alms to the poor or whatever, and they are kneeling. But the story behind the card, he's holding the scale because he has been there. He has been in his position, and they don't have to kneel. They're kneeling in gratitude, and he is not giving just to look good, or, he's giving in balance, like, hey, I've been where you are, and now I have, and I'm going to give. So, because just looking at it, it's like, okay, you're just giving something away, but it does remind us to look, are we mooching off of people, or are we giving back where we can? And it doesn't always have to be tit for tat, it's energetically. So if you are not in a position to give financially, well, then do you give in other ways? If you don't have the financial resources, are you acknowledging your other resources, which are very valid as well? So we're moving into more harmony, more balance in our relationships, or we want to, but the only way to get there is if we are honest about ourselves. All right. Advice. The Knight of Wands. Go get it. The Knight of Wands wands are fire, that's action, that's movement, creativity, passion. The Knights are teenager energy. So do it. This is the advice card coming out on this situation. In order to get to these more balanced relationships, we have to take action. And that action might be taking a good hard look at ourselves, taking an inventory of where we want to be. Where are our hypocrisies? Where is our shadow hiding? Where are our own negative traits that hold us back? In pursuit of the 10 of Cups. Holy shit. How other people view us. We have the 10 of Wands. So we got the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. We're looking at completions here. At really looking at long-term goals. Like, I feel like we're starting at the beginning of something, or something began, but we're looking towards longer term goals. But where do we want to be in general, like in generalities? That's how others view us. Others are looking at us as, and this is how we're kind of looking at each other, because this is a collective reading. So we're letting go of things that don't work. We're completing one phase before we move to another. Sometimes overwhelmed, like we're carrying too much. Are we shouldering too much for other people? Are we expecting other people to shoulder and carry us? Who do we want to proceed to the next journey with? Hopes and fears. 6 of Wands. Maybe we're getting recognition for our journey. Maybe we're recognizing ourselves, our own journey. The 6 of Wands is acknowledging how far we've come. We're not where we want to be. Maybe that's something we're fearful of recognizing. Maybe there's a course correction going on, and that course correction could be that we have our own limiting beliefs, and we're maybe holding ourselves back. And the hopes and fears, I think, is taking a good hard look at that we're not where we want to be, right? There's further to go. We're going to get the outcome. Judgment. The outcome. Also look at this as, discernment. Judgment card is like karma. Looking at our karma, have we been in our integrity? What seeds have we planted? Have we sown seeds of love, or have we procrastinated? Or, the judgment card can be feeling judgment from others, but ultimately we are our own judge. I feel even when we die, God, universe, spirit, whatever, our spirit guides, angels are there with us, but that we are witness to the good and the bad that we have done. And so this is kind of a cool reading, because we're like looking at what we've done, what we've accomplished, where we're going. I feel like this is on a spiritual level. Where do we want to be in general spiritually? This doesn't feel like a manifesting or an abundance reading, but more or less like, who are the people around me? How have I found myself with them? Do I grow with them? Are we going places? And there are, but my cat not leaving me alone, little Penny, is making me think of, because everything is meaningful and she never does this. Whenever I'm doing a reading, it means something. There are a lot of distractions, but it's time to look at, like, okay, in big ways, in big emotional or spiritual step kind of ways. Are we looking at the bigger picture? We've got tens here and we've got an ace, and there's going to be a mess of events in the middle. And then once we get to the next 10, there's always like the next step, and they all stream together. Um, anyway, that is what I've got for you today. And this little turd is being a pain in the ass. So I'm going to get going. I hope you have a great day on earth. Peace. Namaste.